3D printing. What is it? Has it had any revolutionary advancements? Is it going anywhere? All good questions that won't be answered yet. However, I do have something that might answer those questions. Now this is the Creality Ender-3 V3 SE. Now this little hush puppy, first off, was not sent to me by Creality, so this is going to be an honest and straightforward review of unboxing, putting together, and how well it actually works as a printer. Now I've heard some pretty good things about it, but I wanted to see for myself, and it was also a birthday gift. So thank you, Mom and Pop. This is going to be a completely honest, total build review and how well it prints and stuff. I personally, the first printer I got was the Ender-3, the baseline that everybody should start with. Great printer. I'll get to that if I eventually do. It's done really well. It helped print this. This is a completely fake knife. That's why it's cutting so well. But this is 9 generations older. There was the Ender-3 V2, the Ender-3 Pro Max, the Ender-3. It's basically like iPhones. The Ender-3 V3 SE. I don't know what SE stands for. Super Edition? I don't know. However, we are finding out if it holds up to the hype. Now, this isn't a new printer by any standards. I think it came out 5 months ago, 6 months ago, less than a year ago. I know that. Now this, another knife that was 3D printed by my Ender-3. It's a fake knife. Cuts like a beaut though. Now, opening up the box, obviously you have the standard stuff. You have foam. They gave me a nice quick installation guide. Creality themselves. I don't know if those are stickers, but I guess they might be, the little Creality mascot. I wonder if they gave me extra bogey tubes for this. Woo! So we have the very basic starter kit. This is what you're gonna get with almost every single 3D printer. They're gonna send you some filament. This is actually a lot more filament than what came with the Ender-3. That was like 4 loops. This is actually a hefty amount. This is probably right around, I don't know, 70 grams. The print head, dual Z motors. I'm trying my best not to touch any things. I've heard bad things and I've heard good things about auto leveling. We'll see what does come from it. What are you? I should really read the instructions on this. Now this bed has these nice slick cables. All the cables are in here. Whereas with the Ender-3, they were not everywhere, but it was nowhere near as organized as this. These are hardly going to be showing up. Magnetic build plate. So I don't know if any of you know how revolutionary that is. The Ender-3 does not come with a magnetic build plate. The Ender-3 I had to, not really customize that way, but it was something that I had to add. I had to buy a magnetic build plate, this magnetic piece right here to put on top, and then I had to buy a new build plate, which I really like this. Let's get a close up. All right, that's enough lollygagging for me. I'm gonna sit down and focus on actually building this thing. Now I'm getting into the other languages. Most reading I've done ever, willingly, actually. So, here it is. The Ender-3 V3 SE. Still gonna work on figuring that name out. It was really easy to assemble. I was going relatively slow and paced because I don't want to have an error, like I plugged something in the wrong way on this, and then I claim it to be a mishap from Creality. Oh yes, and it has auto bed leveling. Now let's see with this if it actually works, because I have been told time and time again that auto bed leveling almost never works with Creality printers. Now, who told me that? Why'd they tell me it? Don't know. Don't remember. But we'll see if it works. I couldn't do this without you guys. All right, we got it all set up. We got the Ender-3 from 2019 here, and then the Ender-3 3V SE set up right next to it. And of course, there was only one obvious candidate for the first 3D print on this machine. And before I knew it, it was fully warmed up and off to printing. All right, update. We're less than half an hour in, and it's already 50% done. This might just be a game changer. All right, it's a new day. I've had some time to sleep on this and consider my thoughts about it. And let's start with the Ender-3, the baseline original model. It retails for $165 now. I bought it when it was $180. So it has dropped a little since 2019. Good to know. This one was really easy to assemble. It's really easy to use. It came in, I think, 12 different parts. And overall, it's been trustworthy for the past 5 years. One of the things about this printer that I'm not too fond of is this build plate didn't come with it. This is a magnetic build plate that I had to install myself because I just wanted the luxury of having a magnetic build plate. It's not something that you have to do, it's just something nice to have. Secondly, it has one singular Z-axis rod, and while that might not sound like a problem, this entire rod in itself is trying to move this entire arm up and down. So that can, on this end, put a little torque on it and maybe raise that end a fraction of a millimeter more than this one, which ultimately hasn't been a problem for me so far, but it could possibly be a problem. Onto the Creality Ender-3 V3 SE. Keep in mind, this wasn't sent to me by Creality, so this is gonna be a harsh review. One thing that I did like about it, compared to the original Ender-3, is it comes with a magnetic build plate. They saw that people loved putting them on, so then they went ahead and added it. And I think that was added right around the V2 Max I believe. Another thing I do really like about this is it has two Z-axis rods, so you don't have the worrying about this entire gantry arm bending slightly. Another thing I do really like about the Ender-3 V3 SE is the display screen for the input device. It is a lot more cleaner and a lot more modern than the Ender-3s. While this is 16-bit graphics, which some people might like that, this is about the quality of an Android smartphone. So not great quality, but still better than nothing. Another thing that I do like about the Creality Ender-3 V3 SE is that the entire gantry head in itself, this entire print head, is all self-contained. Whereas with the original Ender-3, you had the print head right here, you had the Bowden tube, the hot wires running to it, and you had the motor over here driving the filament through. The filament in this one goes directly from the spool directly into the hot end, as it should be, in my opinion. One problem I did have with this, though, is the slicer software that it does recommend is a little tricky to learn. Now, I did think about using Cura, because I do like using Cura for the Ender-3. I did think about using that because they are the same print bed size, but I wanted to be completely true so this could be a completely honest and full-out review. The instructions with it were really easy to follow. A 12-year-old could do them if they needed to. And the two main pieces, this main gantry setup and the main print bed, those stuck together real easily. They screwed in with, I think, 8 screws, and then after that you just plugged in a few wires, and then it was ready to print. On to one of the main discussions, print quality. This was the first ever benchy I printed on this Ender-3 right here. And as you can maybe see, the layer adhesion is really good. The arches and squares and boxes look really, really good on this. There's very, very few errors. And overall, it's just a really good print. Now this one was the one printed on the Creality Ender-3 V3 SE last night. Now while that one took about 2 hours and 10 minutes to print, this one only took 58 minutes. That's less than half the time as that one. And it sacrificed almost nothing. The layer adhesion is really good, the arches are probably better, and the boxes and separations of layers where there needs to be is really good. So what's the final decision? Will I go back in time and stop myself from buying this and wait the 5 years to buy this because it's so much better? Would I do that? No, I wouldn't. The Ender-3 has, I believe, upwards of 800,000 units sold, so it already has a good amount of traction as being the leading beginner printer. It's hard to compete with. Whereas this came out 5 or 6 months ago, it's gonna take a little bit of getting used to for people to actually start recommending it and actually start buying it as their first beginner printer. Is it the best in the line right now? Not really. It's about 5 or 6 months old, like I said, and they've already come out with better and newer printers. Not specifically in the Ender line, but the Artillery Sidewinder 3X Pro, which I will be doing a review on later if you want to subscribe, maybe even ring the bell so you get notified whenever I do post that. With that being said, would I recommend this over this? That's tough to say. There's so many things that this thing does right that this thing doesn't, and so many things that this thing does that this thing doesn't. The Ender-3, like I said, it's cheaper. It's about $60 cheaper, where sometimes that extra $60 is hard to come by. If you do buy this, you're not going to be missing out. However, if you do buy this, you will have a little bit of a more fun time with it. You will enjoy yourself a little more because you will be given these nice amenities like the free automatic build plate that comes with it and the nice digital display. However, whenever it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I can't recommend one over the other. They're both equally good and equally amazing in their own categories. Even though they are from the same family, they do have their own strengths and weaknesses. So really this video boils down to which one you want to get. The Creality Ender-3 is tried, tested, and true for the past 5 years for me. This thing works, it's solid, it's almost never broken down. but one time. This, I've had for less than 12 hours. And it's hard to say what it's gonna do. The only thing that I can promise is that it's gonna be working a lot. And maybe in 6 months I'll do another review, or in a year I'll recap it and I'll say my actual opinion on it. But right now I think it's a little too early for me to say what my thoughts on it are fully. So there you have it, the very unprofessional official review of the Creality Ender-3 V3 SE. Is it the best? Who knows? Is it the best for you? That's for you to find out. So if you did end up liking this video, make sure you leave a comment, like the video, maybe even subscribe if you're feeling up to it. It really helps out the channel a lot, and it would mean a lot to me. There's nothing really left for me to say, so I'm gonna go print some stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.